Hi everyone, this is part 2 to a video that would have gone up yesterday. It actually wasn't, this isn't filmed straight away. I did film part 2. I can't use part 2 because it went on for far too long. I get stressed out. I mean, you'll probably tell in the first video I was getting stressed out. So it is a couple of days later, you might hear the washer in the background, the dryer in the background. Obviously, you know, I can't do anything about that. Yeah, I could have filmed when they weren't on, but they're going to be on for quite a considerable amount of time because there's stuff going in after what's in. So, and I won't be able to do this later on, so anything that I'm able to film now, or the little bit of time I've got, I am going to film. If you just stumbled across this channel, I'd highly recommend firstly watching part 1, watching the video before part 1 and the video before that. You then might get a gist of what's going on. But basically, for over 3 years, the police have allowed me to be harassed continuously, intimidated, threatened, belittled, scared, trapped in my house, criminal damage, all kinds of things. And they've also ignored a plethora of actual criminal activity, not just harassment, serious crimes against me. They're rude to me, they're offhand with me, they lie about me, they lie to me. I will be dispelling this in future videos where I talk about what has happened, what the police have lied about in official reports, and I will also be putting the evidence in the videos as well. The police have left me with no choice about this. I have begged and begged and begged for help. There's thousands of reports gone in, they ignore them, they don't even contact me, they don't do anything. If they contact me, they will not do anything about it either. They refuse to take statements. They've took very few statements when really they should be taking statements for a lot more stuff, but they refuse to do it. When they took statements, they've not done anything proper about it. Even though they've been given evidence, they've not properly acted on this evidence. Now, I will be giving these crime numbers, the police reaction, and the actual evidence which the police said that things weren't happening in them what actually were happening. That will be going to the papers because the police are actually covering up crime here as well. There's been incidents where there's things happen where I don't actually have the evidence, but I've pointed them in the way of the direction of the evidence which they could easily get to, and they basically refuse to get the evidence. Like, they want me to have all the evidence. Like, I cannot get evidence from areas that I don't own the CCTV footage. It's the job of the police. But because they've made this stance where they're not going to help me as I'm a vulnerable adult, and they target vulnerable adults and try to criminalise them rather than deal with the actual criminals who have basically stopped me from having any kind of life for the last 3 years. The police have made me suicidal, the police have made me want to end my life, the police have upset me, they've stressed me out, they've done all sorts of things that have affected me and my life. Now, I will say, for those of you who like to sit round and watch videos and don't live in the real world and have perfect little lives who nothing bad happens, I'd highly suggest that you watch a good portion of the videos rather than basing your probably biased opinion on a few videos or part of a video. I'd highly recommend don't be biased, just be open-minded and watch as many videos as are currently up and then wait for more, because you can't really get the gist of what's going on, because at the moment I'm obviously not putting evidence in these videos here, but there has been videos filmed. I do find them difficult where I'm having to sit and talk about what's gone on, what the police have said, the lies they've made in reports, and then me having to play the footage. It is upsetting. I don't think anyone would have to want to sit and listen to conversations they've had with the police where they've been lied about later on. Professional standards constantly cover up for the police. The professional standards, there are videos coming about them, especially Simon Gray, the sergeant. He belittled me, he made me suicidal, he lied about me, he said things that I'd said that I hadn't, he was offhand with me, he caused all sorts of issues. You know, it's pathetic what he actually did, but he probably does it to other people. Professional standards are liars in general. They will cover up the police. Everything I'm saying I do believe to be true, and I can back up with evidence. Maggie Oliver needs to keep fighting the fight, because basically the police criminalise people like me who are vulnerable adults. They try to make out I'm the issue. I'm not the issue. I don't go out the house. I can't go out the house when I want. I can't live the life I want. I've had criminal damage. I've had people kicking balls at my car, getting children to kick balls at my car, at my house, doing all kinds of things, but the police won't deal with it even when I do provide evidence, which I do for 90% of the things. Like I said, there's things I can't provide evidence for. So in part 1 of this, I did start to discuss police officers that have been involved. I'm not going to name them all, I'll just get stressed out. And also, I think no one's expecting what is actually going to come from these videos. I think some people are going to be very surprised about some of the things that I can prove, and I will be proving. The police haven't contacted me, they've not spoken to me, they're aware that I'm going to start doing these videos. They don't think I'm going to do this or that I don't have anything, but I think you'll see in upcoming weeks I've got a lot. It's not a nice situation to be in. They could have sorted this out, they could have spoke to me, they could have done what they needed to do and done appropriate action. They could have apologised for lying about me, but you know, they're still causing me distress. Like, as per usual, Maggie Oliver's team are fully aware of all this situation, and you know, there's been discussions regarding what I am doing right now, and you know, I've been left with no option. As stressful as this is, because trust me, this is stressful, I'm going to keep going forwards. So in the last video, I basically named PC Stainton, who has caused me severe distress on numerous occasions during the last God knows how long that he's been involved. He would get me on the phone, wind me up, I would get stressed out, I'd threaten suicide, he'd carry on stressing me out, stressing me out, stressing me out. Now, even though, yes, he was very new to the police, surely he's trained enough to know that if you've got someone in that state, you either calm it down. If you can't calm it down, you get someone else to speak to that person to calm them down. But on several occasions, he wound me up to the point where I didn't know what to do with myself. You know, he just frustrated me. He wouldn't help. Like, you know, and it didn't help because there was a new sergeant on the scene who instantly took a dislike to me. There was one day I was on the phone to PC Stainton when Sergeant Lisa Scorer, was making comments, and I did record the conversation. He actually got so sick of the comments, because obviously I was like, what's she saying? Like, why is she saying that? Blah, 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 whatever I was saying. Obviously I can't remember it word for word, but I do have the conversation. I've not gone back to find that yet. I can go back. I've been going back on videos, and it is very upsetting watching some of this stuff. But he actually had to leave his office and go and find somewhere quiet where things weren't being unprofessionally said to me, because it was like said loud enough for me to hear, and they were fully aware because of what I was responding. So Lisa Scorer came along because there was originally a sergeant called Sean Pearson. Sean Pearson basically wanted Harry to come in the house. I didn't want anyone in the house. Felt uncomfortable. And there's been times like when the police have come and the neighbours are like rushed to try and see into my house. Got footage of that. I've got footage after an event where my fence got criminally damaged and there was various neighbours on the street involved. Again, I can prove who was there because a statement was taken, but I wasn't allowed to sign it. Again, I can prove that as well. So the agreement was that if, like, because they wanted the police to come in and view stuff, I didn't want loads of police officers in the house. I'm uncomfortable about police officers due to being highly harassed and targeted by a DC called DC Melissa Chadwick. That's a whole other story, but you know, she made my life a living hell. I will do a story time about that. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of that massively, but I will talk about it, because eventually, after maybe 9 months of it, she got moved to Burnley. So Sean Pearson tried to pretend to be nice. I mean, I have actually since met him, and he was nice to me when I did meet him, because he's no longer there now. He is a custody sergeant at Greenbank Police Station in Blackburn, but I have met him at some point, and he was nice to me in that position. But there was times when he was offhand with me. There was a time when PC Stainton was sat in this room, and Sean Pearson like went through on the radio, and it was like being what I thought was abusive towards me and what I felt as threatening, because he was saying this will happen if Melanie does this, this and this. Like, I'd been accused of something that I hadn't actually done, right? And he got on the radio and started being a bit of a you-know-what with me. And, like, PC Stainton defended him on it, but I'm not deaf. I know what he was actually saying. But anyway, Sean Pearson was okay some of the time he wasn't okay, but, you know, whatever. He left, and unfortunately his replacement was very mean to me. She was out offhand with me on numerous occasions. There was something that I reported that my dad also reported the same day, but he reported after me. And when my dad did report it, he got told that I'd actually reported it before him. And he was like, well, I still want to report it because I'm actually first-hand witness to it as well as Melanie. In Lisa Scorer's mind, she was basically didn't want to deal with me, so she decided that my dad reported it before me and that she shouldn't have to deal with me. Now, firstly, whether or not I'd reported it 1st, 7th or 98th, You know, if someone reports something, your duty as a police officer is to speak to them about what they've reported, not go, oh, well, she didn't report it first, I'm going to not deal with her. The actual fact was, and it can be proved because it was recorded, that my dad was the second person to do it. So if Lisa Scorrow wants to carry on lying about that, that recording's going to make a thing, like a appearance, because it was the second person after me to report it. And I wasn't contacted about it, and I phoned 101. I was like, I've not been contacted about this. This is like, you know, it's seriously stressful. What's going on? Like, what? It's wrong. What's happening to me? I was being spied on. I was being filmed in my house, basically. But apparently that's allowed because it's been repeatedly happening. Proof's been given on numerous occasions. But no, they carry on filming into my house, which is a crime. And they should be arrested for it. But because the police are protecting everyone but me, no, filming to Melanie's house. Filming when she's half undressed, it's absolutely fine, just point the camera in the house, but there you go. Anyway, Lisa Scorrow got on the phone eventually, she was offhand with me straight away. And I can play this because, you know, when someone's offhand straight away, stressing you out, being like really offhand, she's like, I had to be firm with her. No, you don't have to be firm with me because A, you know I'm severely depressed, you know I'm severely anxious, you know I'm currently trapped in the house because it was when I was trapped in the house, even though I can't really leave freely as much as I should be able to now. And she still got on offhand with me. She basically told me I was imagining things and then accused me of saying things that I hadn't said. I do have the recording, Lisa Scorrow. I did report her, and like I said, she lied to professional standards, said like, Melanie demanded that I speak to her. No, I didn't demand, I kept repeatedly asked to speak to someone because I reported a crime which you didn't even visit who was doing it for over 3 months, and it was repeatedly reported. But because it's happening to me, being filmed in my house, which is a bit, you know, it's absolutely disgusting, filming people in the privacy of their own houses, disgusting. But there you go, apparently this crime can be allowed to happen. They've got evidence of it, but oh no, you just keep filming into people's houses. See, this is the sort of stuff that they're covering up and allowed to happen. Yeah, she's totally out of hand with me. Since Lisa Scorrow's been on the scene, I mean, she has left now. I mean, she's probably been moved somewhere else to do the same things. Nothing happened. She was rude to me. She was offhand. Things got more and more offhand. The police wouldn't attend the street. They wouldn't come when they were stood outside my house every single day, harassing me, intimidating, kicking balls at my house, at my car, scaring me to death, making me suicidal. I tried to take my own life because it was literally relentless. They wouldn't leave me alone. They would just stand out there every day. So that's Lisa Scorrow. Then we move on to Inspector Scott Boast. Boast being the operative word because during one conversation he told me countless times he was the inspector. Now, at the end of the day, titles do not impress me, and what I've been told about the police is they're so desperate for inspectors and chief inspectors. People are getting promoted well before they should be. And also they are desperate for police officers because you can go direct entry as a DI, as an inspector, as a chief inspector, and you can go join, and within 2 years you can be in those roles. So they are desperate, and I totally agree with that. So Scott Boast came across as being very power hungry. He was mean straight away. He was saying things about me that were totally out of order. He had made his mind up about someone he'd never met by reading whatever lies PC Stainton or whoever had put on the system about me. You know, police officers seem to have a very unique way of telling the truth where it's not actually anything like the truth, but they, you know, they make people out to be people they're not continuously because, you know, they must just enjoy it. They must get off on it. They must be just like, oh, Melanie, oh, she was downtown the other day. She murdered 18 people. She robbed 16 pensioners. She pushed 18 disabled people over. She spray painted I hate coppers on a wall. And then she pissed all over the street. Oh, well, just write that in a report. The reality was, Melanie didn't leave the house. Melanie didn't go anywhere. Melanie wouldn't do any of those things. But the police version of me, you'll start to find, is a totally different version from the reality. Now, the police are going to have a big problem with this. Trust me, they're going to have a big problem with the lies that they continuously tell about me. So, because it's all coming out. So, Scott Boast was just a nightmare. He had me stressed out. I was suicidal, and I told him, and he kept on having a go at me. Now, any decent copper who was nice, even if they don't like you, if they've wound you up and got you so stressed out that you don't want to live anymore, they wouldn't carry on. Scott carried on, and in the report, I believe he basically said he didn't take me seriously. Now, if anyone says they're going to kill themselves, never not take them seriously, because one of these days, I will jump off a building. It will be all because of Lancashire Constabulary and every police officer that I'm going to mention in the upcoming videos, along with my neighbours who criminally do things every single day of my life, which the police have got evidence of, but oh no, It's just Melanie. We're going to do nothing about it. Also involved is, I forgot his name again, Mr. I'm going to pretend what footage you've shown me doesn't show crime, but it actually does show crime, because when you show it to other people who know what law is and isn't law, you get told that it is crime, but I'm just going to pretend it isn't crime. What is his name? David Cookson, PC David Cookson. First time I met David Cookson, he came round to my house and he pretended he wanted to help. He listened to me for a long time, and he was here quite a while, like acting like, oh yeah, I want to help you, yeah, I'm really interested, I'm going to help you with this situation. No, he didn't. He just didn't really do anything, basically. There's been other times when he's been involved. There was one time when I was harassed along with my dad. Christmas Eve, the neighbours got drunk on one of the neighbours' drives who's been heavily involved in the harassment. They were sending the children to the side of the house to kick the ball, knowing that it causes severe anxiety, because all I hear is bang, 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 bang. They've been in and out my garden. They've been told to stay out the garden. They actually damaged my garden by running in and out of it, which can be proved. I mean, it's one particular neighbour who continuously threatens to kill me. Again, police got evidence of this? No. Tortures me, stalks me, does all sorts of things. Police got evidence? No. We're going to allow that to continue. Won't stay at my garden, won't stop kicking balls at my house, and they were kicking balls at my house. I was highly distressed. It was Christmas Eve. I mean, come on. I mean, although if you knew what happened just before Christmas Eve, with someone trying to smash my door down and terrorising me and my dad and my puppy, you know, this is the sort of thing I'm having to live with. And there will be a part 3, because I've got to go.